It's been 267 days since the Washington Nationals claimed victory in Game 7 of last year's World Series. Never in the league's long history has there been such a stretch without Major League Baseball. Tonight, our national pastime returns, but in a way nobody could have seen coming just a few short months ago. No fans, no high fives, but no problem, because baseball is back. And welcome to opening night baseball on ESPN. The New York Yankees and the Washington Nationals are telecast presented by John Deere. Watching at home with you, literally on TV, Matt Vasgersian, Alex Rodriguez. From here in the studio, this is where we'll be calling the game tonight and for the foreseeable future. We are happy to be anywhere talking about baseball. And Alex, it's 60 games. There are changes this year on the field, but there's a lot to be excited about.
Man, it's exciting. It is special. It is opening day. If you're a kid, you feel like you're going back to Disney World. It's going to be a year of adjustment and not a lot of time to adjust.
And certainly a year where nobody can afford a slow start. The one like the eventual World Series champion Washington Nationals had to endure in order to get to the big prize last year. Yeah, they started out 19-31. There was talk of Dave Martinez possibly losing his job. But when they got hot, they stayed hot. A 74-38 stretch, which rode them all the way to the playoffs, where, by the way, they had some real postseason magic. 5-0 in their elimination games. They won the first ever title in franchise history, dating back to the Montreal days. We know the Nationals are going to look different this year. Anthony Rendon's in Anaheim. Ryan Zimmerman opted out. He's at home. First time he hasn't been on an opening day roster in 14 years. And they got bad news today that will make them look even more different.
That's right, Matt. Their superstar, Juan Soto, tested positive for COVID-19. Dave Martinez told us earlier today he found out about 9 a.m. In a short 60-game season, a sprint, not a marathon, this could be a devastating blow for the champs.
Boy, without some real heavy hitters against a Yankee team that is loaded once again in 2020. Last year's Yankees came very close. Yes, they celebrated another great year. Power was at the core, and there were a lot of guys going deep. They survived 39 injured list stints, most of any team in baseball. They won a title in the AL East for the first time since 2012, took the Astros down to the wire in a 6-game ALCS loss, and the Yankees are once again considered among the favorites in all of baseball.
They are a juggernaut. The Yankees are the total package. Aaron Boone going into his third season, back-to-back 100-win seasons. Some people say they needed one big piece to win a world championship. Well, what did Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman do? They went out and got this guy, Mr. Garrett Cole.
They wrote a big piece. Wrote a big check to get that big piece, and it's two big stars on the mound opposing one another tonight. Yeah, the 60-game and 60-day sprint is moments away. Some of the game's elite talent taking center stage. The defending World Series champs and the biggest brand in all of sports coming up in the opener next.
All's quiet in Cooperstown. In normal times, baseball reaches July with the season in full swing. The dog days looming, and fans gathering here for the new Hall of Fame class. This year hasn't been normal, but these corridors carry reminders of how baseball has endured. It's opening day for a different kind of season. More at stake on every pitch. A playoff feel from beginning to end.
Have all the fun you want. Did he get it? Yes, he did. That was awesome. A World Series Curly W is in the books.
At last, the spirit of the game is in the air and in our hearts again.
Skyline, Los Angeles, California, as the 2020 season begins on a July 23rd day. Jackie Robinson on the outside, and the superstars that the Los Angeles Dodgers have put together to try to win their first World Series title since 1988. Last year's MVP. MVP a few years ago, Mookie Betts, blowing kisses as LA and San Francisco renew their rivalry as we get set for opening night. Baseball on ESPN. Our telecast is presented by John Deere. Welcome everyone inside our studios, and yes, I am here in our Bristol studios. Eduardo and Tim Kirkshin both at home. Tim, nobody's waited more and expressed to us how excited you are to have the game back. Put it in context for us quickly.
Well, 266 days without baseball. That's the longest gap in baseball history. We're all so happy to be playing some games.
How about you, Eddie?
Well, I'll tell you this, Carl. Just to be excited to be here, finally talking Major League Baseball, getting Mookie Betts in a Dodger uniform. Are you kidding me? It's the right thing to do right now. Opening night in LA.
It's the bane of Red Sox fans' existence, but yes, they're very excited about it in Los Angeles. Home, say the Dodgers, and Mookie will make it home for the next dozen years. In the shadows of Jackie Robinson and surrounded by Andrew Friedman, who came to the deal with him, and his new manager, Dave Roberts, who, of course, signed his own extension for 4 more years. That's the group. Combined with this guy, Cody Bellinger, and Walker Buehler, you have the new Killer Bees. But my goodness, you're talking about the MVP last year and 2 years ago in the American League, Eduardo. A scary, dynamic duo that the Dodgers have. And you think about the likes of Mickey and Roger as far as teams since '63 with MVPs from each of the previous 2 seasons in the outfield. How dominant can they be?
They can be really dominant, Carl. If you look at it age-wise, they're not even close to getting to 30 years of age yet. So they're going to be together for quite some time. And to put it in perspective, right, left, these are 2 guys that not only beat you with the bat, but they beat you with their legs also and with their instincts. And that's one thing that Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers love about what these 2 guys will be able to provide the Dodgers with.
And a complete rebuilding Giants team here. They, of course, their Hall of Fame manager, Bruce Bochy, retired. And then they've lost other players, of course. Madison Bumgarner signed with the Diamondbacks 5 years for $85 million. Their best player, Buster Posey, opted out. This is a lineup you're not going to recognize all those names. This is a great Giant franchise, and they're going to struggle, my guess is, for a few years.
Gabe Kapler is in his first year, but Gabe can spin it with the best of them, and he's certainly looking forward to taking these guys to where the 2010, 12, and 14 team went when they won World Series. The former All-Star starter, Johnny Cueto, on the mound. He's had real good success at Dodger Stadium, and he will not be opposed by Clayton Kershaw tonight, out with a stiff back. It's the Giants and the Dodgers as we're getting set to start the season on the West Coast, as ESPN's telecast of opening night baseball is presented by John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer. Run with us. A quick timeout. First pitch from Chavez Ravine right after this.